June 2025. Question number 4. What is Scopic? How does it solve the difficulties of salvors? B. In case of collision between two ships on high seas, which state has the right and responsibility for following, with jurisdiction and briefing describe the salient points of the applicable convention? So, out of this, the first part will be to take disciplinary action against the crew member or the master. Second would be to cancel the COC of crew members. Third, for payment of compensation. Now, very commonly asked question. Let us first try to define what is Scopic and how does it solve the difficulties of salvor. Scopic special compensation P&I Cup clause is an addendum to the Lloyd's Open Forum 2000 salvage agreement. It was introduced to address the inadequacies in 1989 Salvage Convention, particularly regarding compensation for salvors and environmental protection operations. The purpose of Scopic is to ensure fair remuneration to the salvors even if they fail to save the property but help prevent environmental damage. It also encourages salvors to engage in risky operations, especially when property value is low or at risk. Now, the difficulties to be solved by Scopic are guaranteed compensation. Salvor receives tariff based compensation for time and equipment, even if the salvage is unsuccessful in terms of property saved. Incentives for environmental protection encourages salvors to act promptly to protect the environment and which previously lacked financial incentives, prevents legal disputes, clear-cut payment terms, reduce litigations and delay in payments. Security mechanism: shipowners must provide security typically via P&I clubs to ensure salvors are paid. Part B is in case of collision between two ships on high sea, the UNCLOS and the relevant international maritime determines jurisdiction and responsibility in such cases. The part one is to take a disciplinary action against the crew member of the master. The flag state has the rights and responsibility to take disciplinary action. Jurisdiction under UNCLOS Article 97. Only the flag state or the state of nationality of the seafarer can initiate a penal or the disciplinary proceedings, as we have seen in ELSA 3. No other states can interfere unless authorized. To cancel the certificate of competency of the crew members, only the issuing staff of the COC has the right to cancel or suspend the certificate. Justification: COC is issued under the STCW Convention. Only the country that has issued the COC has the jurisdiction to take such an action. And part 3 would be for payment of compensation. The responsibility for compensation lies with the party at fault, and compensation is determined through civil claims filed by the aggravated party. And here, the jurisdiction, as per international collision regulation, the COLREC, and the maritime tort law, that is, the victims involved here, the owners, the cargo interests, etc., can claim damages. Jurisdiction is often determined by court of the port where the ship are detained or by mutual agreement. Sometimes claims are resolved by arbitration or under provisions in collision liability treaties. Now, the summary of the jurisdiction and responsibility: the disciplinary action usually on the master and the crew. Jurisdiction would be the flag state and national state. Legal basis would be the UNCLOS Article 97, as we mentioned earlier. Cancellation of COC, COC issuing state. The legal basis would be the STCW Convention would give the power to the issuing state to cancel the COC. Compensation for damages determined by the civil courts or most of the cases the arbitration, and collision regulation and the tort law is the legal basis for such an action, right?